Well, about 15 minutes before all of the polls close across the state of New Hampshire, just about 80% are now closed, and more than that now. And with about 5% reporting, as you see there, Governor Mitt Romney, 35% of the vote. Ron Paul is 36%. Ron Paul, 25% in second place, solidly. And Jon Huntsman appears to have established himself in this early going in third place, rather handsomely. Jon Huntsman holding third place. And we're going to be updating that as these numbers begin now to start rolling in with, in greater numbers and greater volume. Joining us once again, the A-Team tonight, former Assistant to President George Bush, Ron Christie, former Schumer advisor, Fox News political analyst Christopher Hahn, Executive Director of the Independent Women's Forum, Sabrina Schaeffer. Ron, let's start with you. These numbers are pretty much as you expected?
They are. I mean, it's still early, but it shows a double-digit lead, at least for Governor Romney at this point. I think he has a number of folks in New Hampshire who want to be behind the winner. I mean, we've seen a lot of the polls where you said heading into the primary tonight, there were upwards of 40% undecided. I think as we hear the closing of the polls tonight, you'll find a lot more folks gravitating towards Romney because they want to be with the winner. The question is, does this really translate as we head into South Carolina to a substantial lead, or is it a very soft lead? And of that, I'm not quite certain.
All right, what do you think of this lead? If this lead were to hold up, 36 to 25, Sabrina, that seems impressive to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that Ron's onto something, that this is, looking like Romney will become the de facto nominee. Whether, all of the GOP is going to jump on that bandwagon or not is yet to be seen. But I think that, that there is some time still. There's South Carolina, there's Florida. We haven't gotten to Super Tuesday yet. But, it looks like he's going to be the default nominee if that's the case.
And Chris, as we look at these early numbers, we're looking also at these exit polls, the economy, the budget.
Yep.
Top priority amongst the New Hampshire voters who are strongly independent.
Yes, they are.
And that has to be, I would think, a concern to the president's re-election campaign staff.
I think that if the economy, and we've said this before, if the economy continues to move in a positive direction, even if we're not all the way where we need to be for a full recovery, the president's going to be in good shape. If there's a problem in the economy in the next 10 months, the president's not going to be in good shape. It all boils down to that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This election is going to depend on the economy, especially if the Republican nominee is Mitt Romney, a guy who's not really an extremist, a guy who you could subscribe any belief you want to because you've taken a lot of positions. You may want to take that back, because within a week, if it looks like he's the presumptive nominee, he's going to be called an extremist by all of your buddies. I am not going to call him an extremist. I am going to be focused on the fact that he's very pliable in his beliefs. Like I said before, he has all of the conviction of an O.J. jury. So let's be very clear. The man does not stand for anything except for getting elected.
We're going to be back with this elevated conversation on Governor Romney's character and proclivities and propensities as we continue with the A-Team. More to-the-minute results from New Hampshire. Much more with the A-Team coming up here next.